Okay, problem 2. What's the largest possible value for the slope of the curve y equals x minus cosine 5/4 of x? Okay, so what's the largest possible value for the slope? So it's got to be, first of all, but if it has a positive slope anywhere, it's going to be a positive slope, and it's going to be the maximum value of the positive slope. Well, what is the equation for the slope? It's just dy dx, and I'm going to skip the steps, the intermediate steps, to find dy dx. I think by now you can figure out it's 1 plus 5/4 sine 5/4 x. So that's the slope. Then the question is, where does the slope achieve a maximum value, if it does achieve a maximum value? Well, that's going to be when the second derivative equals 0. So 0 equals d squared y dx squared. And what is that? That's, again, skipping the intermediate steps. That turns out to be 25/16 cosine 5/4 x. And when does that equal 0? Well, it equals 0 when 5/4 x equals pi over 2. Of course, there are other times when cosine 5/4 x will equal 0. But this is the most obvious one, the first one you might come to. And so this would be when x equals 4 pi over 10 or 2 pi over 5. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do is make sure when we plug 2 pi over 5 in for x up here, does that give us a positive slope? And the answer is yes, it does. The sign of that's going to be positive. And so then the maximum is dy dx equals 1 plus 5/4 times the sine of 5/4 times x, or in other words, sine of pi over 2. And so that will give you the maximum value.